the topic, that is tree. Tree means a graph G is said to be a tree. A graph G is said to be a tree if it is connected. If it is connected and has no cycles. A cycle. If G is said to be a connected, a graph is said to be a connected and has no cycle, then it is said to be a tree. And connected means we already know that. A connected means there is a path between every two distinct vertices in a graph G. So those will be called a connected graphs. So the graphs which are connected and has no cycles will called be a tree. In the tree, a tree must to be a simple graph. A tree has to be simple. A tree has to be a simple graph because loops and parallel edges form a cycle. A tree has to be a simple graph here because loop and parallel edges forms a cycle here. Therefore, a tree must to be a simple graph here. So there is some examples here. Only one edge between the two vertices. Two edges. In every distinct vertices there will be a graph is connected and has no cycle. So the graphs are connected here and there is no parallel edges and also there is no loops in the edges here. So these graphs are simple graphs and has no cycles. So these are all are the examples for the tree here. So suppose if each tree possesses at least two pendant vertices here. Each of these graphs means each of the trees possess at least two pendant vertices in every graph of the tree, or in every tree there is a two pendant vertices. Two pendant vertices means degree of the vertex will be 1. Here also the degree of vertex is 1. Here also the degree of vertex is 1. So two vertices of a degree 1. Come to here. These two vertices have a degree 1. So here also two vertices are two pendant vertices. Come to here. At least 2 means maybe greater than 2. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 vertices of a degree 1. So in general we say that each of trees possess at least two vertices, two pendant vertices. So next one is leaf. So what is the leaf? A pendant vertex. A pendant vertex. A pendant vertex of a tree. Of a tree is also called leaf. A pendant vertex of a tree is also called a leaf here. So these are leaves here. All these vertices are called a leaf and also pendant vertices. And a graph which is usually denoted by T. A graph which is a tree is usually denoted by T here. T is the symbol for the tree. And now we have to remember one thing. Suppose G is disconnected. Suppose this is your graph G. You can see here the graphs are disconnected, but each components are connected. The graph is disconnected. G is disconnected. But see the components. 3 components will be present, but the components are connected. Here. Such a graph is called a forest. Such a graph is called forest. Suppose G is disconnected and each components are connected. Then the graph G is called a forest. Tree means a graph which is said to be a tree if it is connected. Graph is said to be a tree if it is connected and has no cycles. So therefore T is always simple graph, because if loop and parallel edges are present in the graph, they form a cycle. But our restriction for the tree will be no cycles. So therefore each graph will be a simple graph in a tree. And then a leaf means a pendant vertex of a tree is also called a leaf. And one more thing, in every tree there is at least 2 pendant vertices will be present. And those pendant vertices are also called a leaf. And if suppose G is disconnected and each component of the disconnected graph is connected, then the graph is called a forest. Then the graph is called forest. Come to the theorem here. In a tree there is one and only one path. There is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices. In a tree there is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices here. So we have to prove the theorem here. In a tree there is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices means we know that T be a tree. Consider, let T be a tree. If T is a tree, then T is connected. If T is a tree, then T is a connected and simple graph. T is a tree, that implies T is connected and simple graph. Since T is connected means there must be only one path between every two vertices. If T is connected, there is only one path between every two vertices. If suppose there is a two path, if suppose there is a two path between a pair of vertices. If there is a two path between a pair of vertices in a vertices of T, the union of a paths will become a cycle. The union of path becomes a cycle. T is a tree. We are consider if T is a tree. Suppose T is a tree means T is connected and simple graph. If T is a connected and simple graph means there is only one path between every pair of every two vertices or every pair of vertices here. Suppose if suppose there is a two path between a pair of vertices, then the union of a path will become a cycle, and T cannot be a tree. Because according to the definition of a tree must to be free from the cycle. Suppose if you add a two path between the vertices, then T forms a cycle. If T forms a cycle, then T cannot be a tree. Thus we say that we conclude that between every pair of vertices, between every pair of vertices in a tree, there must exist one and only one path. If we add more than one path, they form a cycle. If it forms a cycle, then it is not a tree. Therefore, in a tree, there is only a one path between every pair of vertices. So, next move to the second theorem. If in a graph, G, there is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices. Every pair of vertices, then G is a tree. If in a graph G, there is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices, then G is called a tree. Consider there is a path between proof. Since there is a path between every pair of vertices. There is a path between every pair of vertices in G. It is obvious that G is connected. It is obvious that G is connected. Here, there is a path between every pair of vertices, means then G is called a connected. Since there is only one path between every pair of vertices. If there is a path between every pair of vertices in a G, then G is a connected. So, since there is a one and only one path, there is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices. Every pair of vertices. First we assumed that there is a path between every pair of vertices. If there is a path between every pair of vertices, means that creates G is connected. If G is connected and we are considering a G has only one and only one path between every pair of vertices. Since there is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices, if there is a path between every pair of vertices, means G is connected. And one more restriction, that there is only one and only path between every pair of vertices, means G cannot have a cycle. So, it is clear that G is connected and G cannot have a cycle. Then there exists a suppose if there is a cycle. We have considered here there is a one and only path between a pair of vertices. Therefore, G cannot be a cycle. If there is a cycle, means there exists a two path between the vertices on the cycle. But our assumption is there is only one path between the vertices. So, thus G is connected. Graph containing no cycles. Thus, G means that G is a tree. So, first we have the given is only if in a graph G there is a one and only path between the every pair of vertices. Means there is a path between every pair of vertices. First we have considered there is a path between every pair of vertices in a G, and we applied the condition, that is from the given we first have to assume that there is a graph in a G have a one and only one path between every pair of vertices, and then we have to prove that G is a tree. So first, according to the theorem, we have taken here G is a path between every pair of vertices. That path is only one path. Means there is a one path between the every pair of vertices. If there is a one path, suppose there is a path between every pair of vertices, that is clear that graph is connected. And the condition is there is only one path between the every pair of vertices. That will give you there is no cycles. If there is a cycle, that forms a two path between the vertices. But condition is already given that one path is there, so there is no cycle here. If there is no cycle and if there is a connected, it is clearly indicates that G is a tree. Because of the definition, G is a tree if and only if it is connected and there is no path between the cycle. So combining these two theorems, we gave that a graph, by combining these two we can say that a graph G is tree if and only if there is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices in G. By combining these two theorems, we can declare that a graph G is a tree if and only if there is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices in a G. So the question may be asked separately, the theorem. Separately this question may be asked and separately this question may be asked. By combining these two, the question may be asked, a graph G is a tree if and only if there is a one and only one path between every pair of vertices in a G. If the question is asked in this manner, you have to write down both the theorems here. So next theorem is, come to the next theorem. A tree with a n vertices has n minus 1 edges. A tree with a n vertices has n minus 1 edges. So come to the proof. Here we can prove this theorem by the induction. We prove this theorem by the mathematical induction. We prove this theorem by the mathematical induction. So here the theorem is obvious for n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3. Because when we construct a tree for the n equal to 1, n equal to means there is only one vertex. If there is a one vertex, there is no edge. Means 1 minus 1 will be 0. If suppose there is a two vertices, we have to create a only one path between the vertices. Then the number of edges is 1. 2 vertices, 1 edge. Suppose there is a 3 vertices. We have to create a path between every two pair of vertices here. Then the number of edges. Suppose there is a 3 vertices. We should not have to form a cycle here. So we cannot create a path between these two vertices here. So graph tree will be simply like this. If you see the graph, there is only the 2 edges here. 3 vertices, 2 edges in a tree. You cannot create a path here because it forms a cycle. Therefore, there is no path here. So for the n equal to 1, 2, 3, the theorem is obvious. But what for the greater than 3, like of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so on. So according to the mathematical induction, the step 1 is over. Step 1 means the theorem is true for n equal to 1. So according to the mathematical induction procedure, in the step 2, assume that the theorem is, assume that the theorem holds for all trees with the n vertices where n is less than or equal to k. N is less than or equal to k. For a specified positive integer k. For the specified positive integer k. So according to the first step, we have proved that the theorem is true for n equal to 1, 2, 3. Now we are moving to the further second step, that is assume that the theorem is true for all the trees with a k vertices. Means for the k, we have to assume that the theorem is true for k. Now come to the step 3. According to the step 3, consider a tree with the k plus 1 vertices. Consider a tree with the k plus 1 vertices. We already know the procedure of the mathematical induction. In the mathematical induction, step 1 will be state that we have to prove that the theorem is true for n equal to 1. And in the second step, we have to assume that the theorem is true for n equal to k. In the third step, we have to prove that the theorem is true for n equal to k plus 1. We are doing the same here. We are doing the same procedure here. In the step 3, we are considering a tree with the k plus 1 vertices. In a tree, let E be an edge. In a tree, let E be an edge with the end vertices u and v. There is an edge E with the end vertices u and v. Since T is a tree, if suppose T is a tree, it has no cycles. If there is no cycle, then means there is only one path between u and v. Therefore, there exists no other edge or path between u and v. There is no other edge or no other path in between u and v. Hence, the deletion of E form T will disconnected. Hence, the deletion of E will form T will disconnect. So, hence the deletion of E form T will disconnect the graph. If the deletion of the edge will be deletion of E from the T will disconnect the graph, then it forms two components. Then it forms two components. Those will be considered as T1 and T2. If suppose T has a no cycles, then obvious that T1 and T2 also have a no cycles. Therefore, T1 and T2 has no cycles. If T1 and T2 has no cycles, means T1 and T2 are correct? If T1 and T2 have a tree in their own way, both of these have an k plus, less than k plus 1 vertices, because T has k plus 1 vertices. T has k plus 1 vertices. Then we know that deletion of E means there will be the two components. And we have assumed that a tree with the n vertices, where n is less than of k. If n is less than of k, that indicates the theorem is true. If there is a k vertices or less than or equal to k vertices, theorem is true. Less than of k plus 1 means at least one is deleted. At least one edge is deleted. At least one vertices will be deleted. If there is a one edge is removed, the theorem is true for k edges. All the trees with the n vertices, where n is less than or equal to k. We have taken here k plus 1 vertices. Each of the T1 and T2 components have less than k plus 1 vertices. For example, consider here a tree. See, this is your E. Correct? This is your E. Number of vertices are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 vertices will be there. If I remove this edge, then the number of vertices are 1, 2, 3, 4. That is less than or of 8. 1, 2, 3. That is also less than of 8. That is what I am going to say here. If T has a k plus 1 vertices, then T1 and T2 has a less than k plus 1 vertices each. Each of T1 and T2 have less than of k plus 1 vertices. If the T1 and T2 have less than of k plus 1 vertices, the theorem is holds good by the step 2. Because we have assumed that the theorem is true for less than or equal to k. So this is also less than or equal to k plus 1 means less than of k. Therefore, T1 and T2 holds good the theorem. Theorem holds for T1 and T2 here. That is, T1 and T2 contains, one less edge than the number of vertices in it. It is just an example here. Don't take it. So therefore, T1 and T2 contains one less edge than the number of vertices in it. So now therefore, the number of vertices in T1 and T2 together is, since the number of vertices in T1 and T2 together is, we already know the deletion of edge in the previous. If you delete the edge, number of vertices will remain the same. Therefore, if you add the number of vertices of T1 and T2, then also the number of vertices will be k plus 1. But in separately T1 and T2, there will be the number of vertices less than k plus 1. If you add those two together, then the number of vertices will remain as it is k plus 1. Now, the number of edges in T1 and T2. The number of edges in T1 and T2 taken together. 2 can 2 together. Suppose there is a k plus, suppose T1 and T2 are separately, they are holds the theorem. Suppose T1 has a 4 vertices, then the number of edges will be 3. Suppose T2 has a 3 vertices, then the number of edges will be 2. But according to the theorem, according to the statement, we consider a 7 vertices. We consider a 7 vertices. In that 7 vertices, we deleted an edge. That deletion of edge will affect also the T1 and T2. Correct? There deletes a edges. The deletion of that edges of the T1 and T2 that affects to the both. We have already taken that T1 has less than of k plus 1 edges. T2 is also has less than of k plus 1 edges. By combining these two, we got k plus 1 of minus 2. That indicates k minus 1 edges. K minus 1 edges. But a T1 and T2 together can be taken as G minus E. Sorry, T minus E graph. Thus, T minus E contains k minus 1 edges. T minus E contains k minus 1 edges. Consequently, if T1 and T2, T minus E have k minus 1 edge, then consequently T has, if you add the edge on both sides, here it is considered a add one edge, here also add one edge, then it becomes k edges. Therefore, consequently, T has exactly k edges. Thus, if the theorem is true for n is less than or equal to k vertices, it is also true for a tree with a k plus 1 vertices. Hence, by the induction theorem, the theorem is true for all positive integer.